Hello, RevenueVision family, and welcome to our RV35 learning session. In this learning session, we're going to review some of the new features that will be available to you with this version 35 release. All right, let's jump right in. So our first new feature for this version 35 release is going to be some new columns added to your contract list page. Okay, so this is our contract list page here. You can see that the two new columns added are going to be month amount and month balance. So what this is referring to is the current month's amount in your contract register. And then if there are any checks that are applied, it'll be your current month's balance. So we'll take a look at this banking services agreement. And we're in the current month of August. If we scroll down here to the register in FY22, you can see that balance there, $25,558.42. It's here in the register. If we click into that, we can also see that no payments or credits have been added. So the balance is still going to be that total amount there. Okay, so just that there have been two new columns added to your contract list page. That's our first new feature there. The next is going to be that we have changed our GL code areas to say debit and credit instead of AR and revenue. So we'll take a look at that as well. We scroll down to this contract register and transaction templates tab. You can see that our GL code areas now say debit and credit, where it used to say AR and revenue. Next, we'll be covering our new reporting module. It's still in the process of being rolled out, so we only have two new reports in it just for this demo, this learning session. But we can take a look here at the contract date summary report. We can see that the parameters page is still here. It's just going to look a little bit different than it used to. Yeah, so we've got our logo and just a little more user-friendly, but you can still use it the same way that you did before. So you choose a start date for this report, and we'll do July 1st, 2020. Okay. And we'll say we only want to see active contracts, and I'll just leave it at that, and we'll run report. Okay, and so this is what the new standard reports will look like. It still gives you your contract ID, your contract name, the manager, contract organization or vendor, and then it's going to give you all the dates listed on the contract with their respective values. And last but not least, probably our most involved feature will be the new contract report cards. So I'm going to hover over Configure and click on Contract Report Cards. So our contract report cards are basically a way for you to score your contracts based on a criteria that you determine, that you define. So in order to do that, you have to create the report card first. So we'll click New Report Card on the left-hand side. We'll give it a name. And you can give it a quick description, but it's not required. The next thing you'll want to do is add some subjects to your report card. And what this basically is saying is you're adding the areas of the report card that you want to be scored or scored on. So what we'll say is we want to make sure that there are dates on each of our contracts, and we want to make sure that there's a contract start date in the item type. So your score type is going to be how it's being scored. So for this one, we'll just say as long as there's a contract start date present on the contract page, then we'll give it its max score, and we'll say the max, and you can determine your own max score, but we'll give it 50 for this example, and we'll click Save on that. And then we'll add one more date. We want to make sure that the contract end date is on this, on all of our contracts as well. And again, we just want to make sure it's present, and we'll give it its max score of 50. And click Save there. Okay. All right. Another thing we want to make sure we have on our contracts are attachments. Again, you can choose the kind of attachments you want on each contract, but we'll keep it basic for this example and just say all contract documents. Again, just making sure it's present, and we'll give it a score of 20. All right, we'll just add one more report card subject here. We'll add statistics. Again, the score type here is going to be age value. Basically stating you want to score the statistic based on how old or how new the data is. We'll give it a max score of 100, and we'll give it a max age of -90. With a max age of -90, we're basically stating that we don't want our statistics to be older than 90 days old. If it is older than 90 days old, your score will be 0. If it's 30 days old, then it's going to be percentage 30 over 90, so on and so forth. So if it's 60 days old, it'll be 60 over 90, and that's how you'll be scored on your statistics for that contract. Okay. So we've set up the contract criteria here. We want to see start and end dates. We want to see attachments for contract documents, and we want to see statistics that are no older than 90 days. Okay. Now, in order to apply this report card to certain contracts, you've got to add your contracts down here. So we will add, B&B Bookstore and save that. And we'll add, and you can add as many contracts as you'd like. We'll also add Best Beverages and save that. Okay. So we're going to click back here to view our contract scores. So in our contract report card 3, this is the one that we just created. You can see it's got 2 contracts linked to it. We'll click on this number 2 here in order to see our scores. Okay, and you can see the 2 contracts pop up here with their respective scores. So for Best Beverages Vending Services, if we want to see more detail, we'll just click into the score link. It's got a 120 out of 220. All right, and we can see that the overall score in the top right-hand corner is 120 over 220, but then it's going to score each item individually. So for our attachment contract subject, we said we wanted attachments with a tag of contract documents, and we gave it a score of 20. And for this contract, for the Best Beverages Vending Services, it's got a perfect score because there is a contract document attached to this Best Beverages contract. As well as the contract start and end dates. We gave it a score of each one of 50, and they both received a perfect score because there is a start and end date present on the contract. And then for the statistics, it's got a score of 0 because it's over 90 days old. So thank you so much for joining us in this learning session for our version 35 release. If you have any questions at all, you can contact us at support@revenuevision.com. And again, thank you.